All right, we wanted to talk a little Jayden Daniels and Commanders and wondering whether your expectations are being raised based on what we are hearing. Um, I read this article 2 days ago from Pro Football Network. I forget the author, but he has them as a playoff team. Listen to what Dan Quinn says about Jayden Daniels, and then we've got Zach Ertz.
Is Jade maybe a little bit further ahead than you had anticipated at this point?
I had high expectations for him coming in, but I would say he's definitely surpassed even my expectations of the readiness, the command. I knew he was going to be cool, knowing the system, like he's just got that way about him. But yet you do see the other players gravitate toward him. They recognize how hard he's worked at it. And I'd also be mistaken to say Marcus has had a really good camp too. And so this was not, something that's easy to do. That's what real competition's about. And I couldn't think of a better, teammate than Marcus for Jayden. The quarterback room, like I said, has just been remarkable.
All right, so he's trying to stir up fake competition there with
Jayden
and Marcus Mariota.
That's just a nod to a veteran. Yeah. That's just a nod to a veteran.
We did a whole thing on that yesterday.
The fact that he said that he had high expectations for Jayden, he's gone past those.
Surpassed it.
That usually coaches aren't that effusive.
Wait till you hear Ertz's comments. Listen to Zach Ertz talk.
Yeah, I think Jayden is going to be, a lot of times you talk about rookies, it's like this guy's going to be really good. And that's not, Jayden is good now. And so with him and me, it's really just talking a lot. We got some reps in the offseason and the OTAs. We're getting more now. But it's really, we're also, whatever rep we have, whether I get the ball, don't get the ball, I want him to understand how I see things. But at the end of the day, it's really what he sees. And I'm trying to learn his perspective because I can have all these ideas in one mind, but if the timing's wrong or if he sees it differently, it really doesn't matter.
He's already good. That's the takeaway.
I'm feeling better and better about my bet that he's going to have 4 total touchdowns in the first 2 games, rushing and throwing. I just feel I couldn't feel more bullish about that at this point.
I don't know. Throw the rookie narrative out the window. That's what it sounds like.
It's kind of what it's sounding like.
About how you're going to have peaks and valleys, ups and downs, struggles.
Zach Ertz saying he's already good. Does this raise the bar for you as fans? You can chime in at 800-636-1067. We went through the schedule several weeks ago and gave you our predictions. We'll do it again. But after hearing that, I might have to give them one more win. I got to find at least one more win in there because I have them sub 500.
I still haven't gone officially on record with my picks, but I might be swayed. I can be swayed.
I told you. What did I pick? I picked 9, but I wanted to give them 11.
Yes.
I did 9, but just tried to stay medium.
You gave them a winning record, which hasn't happened here since
you gave them 9 and 8. And
2016.
There's asterisks at the bottom. It says if EB has balls, he'd pick them against the Bears and Falcons to get them to 11 and 6.
I disrespect the Bears and Falcons.
Maybe you meet in the middle and go to 10 and 7.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll go through it one more time.
You just disrespect Caleb Williams and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. They're fine. It's just the organization I disrespect. Sorry. They disrespect us. Everyone disrespects us. I get it.
You have to push back at some point.
Yeah, I know. We got big trophies, too, though. We got like 3 of them in there.
A lot of dust on them.
It's a lot of dust.
Yeah.
I want to give you one other anecdote. Just, again, I mentioned.
Do you think, though, that the fan base, is starting to buy in? See, I know the trolls Juan are going to be like, there's so much hype, it doesn't mean anything. And while I agree with that to some extent, when it is day after day and everybody saying the guy looks good, it's hard to not buy into an extent.
Yeah, and again.
And he was the number 2 pick.
Right.
And he had an unbelievable last year and won the Heisman Trophy and played in the SEC. So
you 5 years.
You expect him to actually play well. Now, you kind of expected that from Bryce Young as a rookie, and it didn't happen. But he had probably a worse circumstance.
And at some point, they have to be able to hit on a quarterback.
I mean,
it has to happen at some point.
You would think.
Washington is going to hit on a quarterback.
But each throw of the die is independent, Cakes. You know that.
I understand that.
But look, he's not going to be flawless. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to throw interceptions. He's going to take awkward hits. He's going to fumble. I mean, these are things that quarterbacks do. All of them do it.
He's also going to throw deep bombs to Terry McLaurin, and he's going to rip off 50-yard touchdown runs.
I hope so. I think so.
He's going to do
But he's
that.
going to do all the
50-yard
bad
touchdown
stuff, too.
runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll have a 50-yarder, but he's going to have some
maybe
long
not
touchdown runs.
Maybe not multiple. Maybe
Right.
I'm going to get over my skis. He's going to have.
He'll have some touchdown runs.
He's going to have some long touchdown runs. He's going to break some long ones.
So let me give you another reason to be optimistic. I mentioned earlier that I listened to Pioli's interview with Grant yesterday, and Pioli worked with him. He was, you know Pioli from his Patriots days, from his Chiefs days.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think he's won front office executive of the year or whatever a few times.
I think he's a regular on NFL Network as well.
Yes, and he talked about consulting with Brian Kelly, especially when he was at LSU. So he knows Jayden. He would bump into Jayden when he would be there, and. Remember how I mentioned that Jayden was doing that reality stuff, that virtual reality stuff at 5:30 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of a little skeptical about it. And he said, well, what are you really getting out of this? And he goes, this is how the attention to detail. This is why, another reason to be excited about the kid. He's in college. Most guys in college, all they want to do is just, maybe play, try to get laid. This guy's locked in. He said, let's say they were playing at Alabama or whatever.
Yeah.
He said, I've never been there before, but now with the virtual reality, I know where the locker room is.
Mm-hmm.
I know where the play clock is. I know where the down and distance is. I know the whole stadium now. And so I don't have to waste time learning all that stuff.
Right.
It's not just virtual reality reading blitzes and it's actual where is stuff located? How can I make the game easier for
surroundings?
me? My surroundings. So I'm not going into a foreign environment.
Yeah.
I've already been there.
It shows you he has attention to detail.
That's a detail that it's very, I think, unusual for a young kid. All right, let's go. Let me see here.
I mean, you have to be encouraged. It's hard to go the other way based on what you're hearing in preseason. You can go the other way with certain teams that have had injuries already, that have holdout situations. It's pretty much been all in the positive direction for the Commanders so far.
But
so far.
It's kind of surpassed hope.
Correct.
Usually, if you draft a rookie quarterback, I hope he turns out to be good.
Right.
It's almost like an expectation where Jane's going to be good.
Now you're kind of expecting C.J. Stroud-esque type of season.
And that's a big ask.
It's a huge ask. I understand, but with all the positive buzz and hype,
I want to say for the record,
trying to expect that
I'm going to say for the record, I'm not expecting a C.J. Stroud top 5 caliber season. I'm not. I'm expecting some great games and some games. And I don't know what the percentage of that's going to be. But I expect to see greatness, but I also expect to see struggles. I think that's realistic. Let's go to Cam in D.C. Cam, what's up?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's exactly where I'm at. I think C.J. Stroud is the worst thing to ever happen to our team. I think there's so many fans who think C.J. Stroud is the new norm, the new benchmark, but I think people forget, that's a blip in the road, and we may never see that happen again. And if it happens to Jayden, great, but I think we should temper our expectations based off of 2 weeks of training camp. So I'm still leaning towards 7, 8, 9 wins and the positivity.
Which is a huge jump, by the way.
7, 8, 9 is good. I'll take that.
For sure.
I would prefer 8 or 9, but yeah. All right, thank you, Cam. Appreciate it. I do think, I don't even think CJ could duplicate what he did last year. You know what I mean?
CJ was the outlier, not the norm.
Oh, totally.
Certainly.
I know, but but I don't know if it's just kind of like a gold rush for first take to try and figure out who is going to be the next Houston team or the next team to turn it around.
But there always is a team that does turn it around.
And there's 6 or 7 that didn't make that every year that don't make the playoffs to make it the next year. But look, Justin Herbert, his rookie season came in and he had 31 touchdowns with just 10 picks. It's not like C.J. Stroud. It's recency effect, and we're mentioning C.J. Stroud as they make the playoffs, but it is not unprecedented. Guys come in, I think, more than ever, ready, and they can come in, red hot, like Justin Herbert did in 2020. Like C.J. Stroud did last year. I can go through it every year.
I know those are 2 examples. Maybe Burrow before he got hurt.
But the Stroud year is a team that won 3-4 games and then all of a sudden is winning the division.
Right.
I think that's quarterbacks can come in and play well, but to have a turnaround where all of a sudden they go from 4 wins to 11 wins or 12 wins, whatever they had.
Well, nobody's predicting that yet.
I know, but when you say C.J. Stroud type turnaround, that's kind of what you think, right?
Yes, you're thinking about the
I'm actually
quarterback
not thinking
and the
about
team.
total
You're thinking
wins. I
about
don't know
winning
how
the
they're gonna do
division.
it. I guess I'm not thinking about that. I just want
Like
the guy to
in
play
playoff
great.
contention is where, I don't think they're going to win the division. I don't think they're leapfrogging Philly in the division. But if they have 9 or 10 wins and are in the hunt for a playoff berth, I'd say that's pretty close to what Stroud brought to them as a rookie.
Yeah, I'm not expecting them to do. Well, how many wins did Texans have last year?
10 or 11, I think.
Yeah.
Double check.
But I always bring this up that now it wasn't.
And they weren't a
because of
7-win
Anthony
team.
Richardson, but the Colts were right there too.
Yeah, but
And that was a big turnaround.
The Texans weren't a 7-win team
No.
before Stroud came to them.
No, they were
one
a
of the cellar dweller.
They were awful. That's why they had the ability to pick Stroud at number 2.
All right, let's go to Reggie in D.C. Reggie, what's up, man? You're on with the Junks.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up,
Man,
Reggie?
I'm buying the hype. I remember, man, I was giddy for Carson Wentz, man. I was, oh man, I'm going thinking back Philly, and I remember that EB was like, or I think it was all of y'all, man. We're hearing some things in training camp, and it's not accurate. And then guess what happened? When he got in the games, it was trash. Everything you hear now, what I think is EB just pointed. I think he is going to be good. I think he's going to have himself a C.J. Stroud statistical season. I just don't know about I'm a little worried about the defense. How is the defense going to play with all the new pieces?
Well, if you're
all
looking for
the things?
stats, that actually plays to Jayden's advantage. If the defense is bad and they get it in shootouts, that he's going to put up bigger numbers. I mean, you're not rooting for a bad defense, but if you're looking for a big stat year from Jayden Daniels, you want him in like 31 to 28
Well, no,
games.
but here's the question. Would you rather Jayden just be sort of very average, but that the team as a whole just plays really well, and let's say they win 10 games, or would you rather Jayden be like a breakout and they win 7 or 8?
I'd rather take the latter because I can fix the holes around him during the offseason and free agency in the draft. I'd rather he shows something and they win 7
I'd rather
or 8.
have the former. You want the 10 wins.
I don't want the sugar high of a 10-win season that's fleeting and he's not showing you what you're expecting or hoping for.
Well, he's just playing okay.
Yeah, because he'll get better. Then that
He's
would
just
be kind of the
playing okay.
normal trajectory of most
Not
rookies.
great, not horrible. Now, you're not going to get, Daniel Jones-ish maybe. Like, well, did Daniel Jones have one good year? He had one really good
2
year.
seasons ago, he was really good.
Don't love the Daniel Jones comp.
Right, but they win 10 games.
I saw Brian Dable when they were like, we're going to stick with Daniel Jones. We're not trading up on the latest one of the latest Hard Knocks. And
He didn't look thrilled.
His face was like this. Okay. You okay with that, Dable? He's like,
Yeah. He goes, yeah.
Yeah, he's not thrilled, as you can tell.
All right, if you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. More and more rave reviews coming out of Commanders training camp. You just heard what Dan Quinn says about his quarterback, his rookie, and Jayden Daniels saying he's surpassed expectations. You heard what Zach Ertz said. He said he's not going to be good. He's already good.